really hot.
It's hot.
It's hot there. And bring it back full circle. It's hot.
It's hot
a
here.
Brutal record heat. So it's one thing to complain about it being hot in the summertime. Is another thing to complain about it being unreasonably hot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's unreasonably hot. Is that fair to say? Brittany Van Voorhees?
I've never heard unreasonably hot, but I've certainly heard unseasonably hot.
It shouldn't be this hot, right?
I mean, it shouldn't have been as hot as it was last weekend.
That's
this weekend's going to be
true.
even hotter. So
I was in Detroit last weekend, so I don't know.
yeah,
You
you
were spoiled.
left
I was
us.
spoiled.
It's fine. I said the same thing to Brad actually when I talked to him when he got back from his vacation, as you guys probably noticed, because he's the best. Obviously, that he was gone. I said you really had to go to Hawaii. During like,
Hawaii?
that's where he was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
he was in
on
Hawaii.
vacation.
Well,
Yes.
look at that.
With
Yeah.
the wife and the kids. I hope they had a great time. But it was a little bit brutal heat-wise here, and I'm seeing all his pictures thinking, seems planned to me.
like
I mean,
he
I
knew.
guess maybe not, because if that's the case, he probably would have been gone this weekend instead of last
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be brutal next
Are
event.
you ready, Brittany?
I mean, no, but let's talk about it. Jeez. Well,
There she is.
so
The sigh, I love it.
here's the deal. Our average high this time of year has dropped to 90. So historically, we are past the average hottest day of the year. Unfortunately, it is not going to be like that. From now through next Thursday, and I debated whether or not to put next or this, because I know Thursday has passed, but regardless, you guys know what I mean. Next Thursday, which is July 31st. From now till then, high temperatures are going to be above 97. We're looking at the potential of at least 3 days in a row of 100 degrees or higher. Again, I'm talking about the highs, not the feels like temperature. And there's a chance that we could get even closer to that, upwards of 5 days potentially reaching the triple digits. We have not done in Charlotte since the 80s.
Wow.
Feels like temperatures are going to be above 110. If you remember, we've hit 110 once so far this year. That was back on June 25th. That was the day we also hit 100 earlier this year. Last weekend, we had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with feels like temperatures at 106. So this is going to be a much more oppressive heat, and it is going to be more prolonged. And because we also haven't had a lot of rain recently, we're also looking at the risk of what's called a flash drought. Now, we, of course, will be talking about this a lot over the next few days, but just to give you an idea of what the heck that means, because it's not something you hear all the time. Flash drought, think of flash flooding, right? It's a flood that happens quickly. A flash drought is essentially a drought that happens quickly. So it's a significantly fast moving drought that essentially goes from 0 to 60. So a rapid intensification, if you will. Now temperatures today are already warm, but it really isn't terrible outside. I was talking to Carboni about this earlier this week, because Wednesday and Thursday really weren't bad at all. So they were 2 nice days, I guess, to be, like you mentioned, out of Spartanburg, but it's going to get more brutal as we go through this weekend. It's already close to 90 degrees here in Charlotte right now. Feels like temperatures approaching 95. Today is not the day that we're starting the WCNC Charlotte impact alert, but it is, I would say, kind of the transitionary day from a little bit less humid, still hot, but not as bad Wednesday, Thursday. Today is the transitionary day with feels like temperatures back in the upper 90s, and then the 100s are back tomorrow. And again, all of this has to do with really, really strong high pressure overhead. When we have high pressure, that is the sinking motion of air that suppresses storm activity. And when you essentially have a high that's sitting over the same spot for prolonged periods of time, and there's no kind of atmospheric movement, you don't get a cold front, you don't get something else kind of pushing it, it will just sit and sit and sit. You also might have heard this referred to as a heat dome. This is common. Normally we have a Bermuda high that's just off the coast in the Atlantic. However, this Bermuda high has slipped a little bit closer to us. And again, as it sits, it's just going to be over and over and over. So again, on top of the heat and humidity, we're also going to be dealing with lack of rain, which we know rain can help cool you off. So it's essentially a bad combination of all the things that we'll be dealing with the next few days. Now, again, we know that it's going to be hot at least for the next week, but it's the Saturday through Wednesday time frame that is the most aggressive. From the hottest time of the day, which we know is typically about 1 to 6, but in this case, because it's going to be so hot, we're going noon to 7. Saturday through Wednesday, we'll have highs again near 100. That's 10 degrees minimum above average. and heat index values at or above 105. So we will likely see at least 5 days in a row of heat advisories issued by the National Weather Service, and also the possibility for extreme heat watches and warnings. I know we've had a few watches mixed in over the last day or so, but when you talk about extreme heat watches or warnings, that's looking at that closer to 110. So if that threshold is met, then that essentially that the confidence is there that we will feel closer to 110, which there are multiple days that we could get close to it. I'm going to show you some maps in a second, so I want you to have an idea of what these heat risks mean. Normally when we're in the Charlotte area during summer, we're right at an orange. We're very rarely at a minor, right? Because we know it's hot almost every single day of the summer. But when we start to creep into the dark red, that's major heat risk. And this is a calculation based on every single different area across the United States that the National Weather Service puts out. So we're normally starting to transition into major and then eventually extreme once we have those heat index values closer to 110. So today we're in red. Again, as expected, we have feels like temperatures approaching the upper 90s to near 100. Saturday, starting to creep back into a little bit of purple action. And then Sunday, everyone from Raleigh, Durham to Fayetteville to the coast to Charlotte to Lancaster, all the way down toward Columbia, dark purple. There's nothing higher than purple. But again, this is like when we're really going to start to notice it. So even Saturday is probably not going to be as bad as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We transition to Monday, more purple. Tuesday, more purple. Wednesday, more purple. The good news is relief will come. But it's not going to come at least until this time next week. So heat index values 105 to 110 Saturday and Sunday, highs again 90s to 100s. But August starts with a bang in a good way. We are finally trending below average, which means we are not going to break the record set back in 1993 of consecutive days of 90 plus. We'll likely be in the top 5 at least, probably getting 26 to 27, but relief is coming. It's not going to be swift. We have to wait a week for it to get here, but it's coming. This time next week, which I said this earlier to a few people when I was working out earlier, next Friday is August. I know it's hard to believe, you guys, but it's the last Friday in July. And so the next few days, last few days of July, again, not going to feel great, but Friday, August 1st, 86 degrees.
Wow.
84.
84 next Saturday, or I guess tomorrow would be, first weekend of August, let's say that. Mid 80s.
It's going to feel like fall.
Ish.
Compared to 100 something, it's going to feel like
100%.
That's fair.
It's going to feel like mid-fall.
Yeah. Well, it's like we always talk about perspective, right? If we had a really, really cool July, like we would not be feeling like this.
No.
It's just been so hot. I mean, we've already had 2 long heat stretches, 2 long heat advisory stretches. And I was actually going to go back. Chris probably mentioned this earlier, but
I don't think I've seen the weather alert banner stretch that
Look
far.
at it, isn't it? Yeah, it's
the most I think the most
glitch.
we've had is 5 days.
It's a lot of red.
So if we get to those 3 days in a row, which is currently on the forecast, we would match the top 5 essentially of most days in a row at 100 or higher.
Wow.
Last time we did that was 2015. 4 days has happened 3 times: 1887, 1952, and 1983. And then the most days at or above 100 we've ever had was July 1986. We had 5 days. So it's very possible that we could get to 5 days because, I mean, that Saturday and Wednesday at 99, I mean, 1 second at 100 degrees, can put you above that. But
Wow.
it's not great.
At all.
But
Yeah.
I think if everybody takes the precautions that they already know, exist, and we talk about so much during the summertime, even just when it's regular hot, you'll be fine. Just take those precautions now and prepare now for those things. I will say one thing that I think that we talk about, but maybe don't mention as much. But, if you are someone especially who loves, to keep the house cool and you're wanting to avoid maybe, astronomical energy bills, I can't guarantee they won't be astronomical,
Yeah.
but there are ways that you can keep your home cooler. Closing the blinds, not letting as much sunshine.
Even when you're away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like not letting as much sunshine in your house. Like think about if you have any friends or family, who don't have like sun that beats into their home. Their house is naturally cooler. So
Yeah.
you can close the blinds, close the shades. Make sure that the weather stripping in your house isn't letting AC out.
Okay.
You know, like below your door.
Yeah.
You check, like when the sun comes in, you check for cracks. Those are two simple things that you can do that will at least keep your home cooler, especially if you are someone who's susceptible to heat-related illness and you plan on staying inside most of the weekend. I think that's something that we talked so much about staying hydrated and all those things, which is very important, but when it comes to staying cool inside your home, like
Yeah.
if you're already in the air conditioning, energy bills are probably going to be higher.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of an unavoidable.
Oh, yeah.
But that can help at least limit some of that release of the AC and things like that. Yeah, especially if you're someone too who, like, when you leave your home, you turn, experts are always saying to turn it up a little bit, whatever. But again, closing all those blinds and just letting the least amount of warmth come into your house means that it will stay as cool as possible. So.
Yeah, I've been doing a better job of bumping it up higher. I still need to close my blind. I'm a sunlight guy, so but I need with it being so hot, I need to close my blinds.
It's kind of the opposite, like in winter. We're always like, open the open the shades and let the the warmth in. It's going to keep your house warm. We're at the opposite point. Also, if you're going to spend more time inside, it also might be a good opportunity to change the air filters.
That is a good That is
because
a
also
great
that
point.
can limit as much airflow as well, and also of course if they're the filter's there for a reason, right? Allergens, things like that, and so you can also start to see that get clogged. Normally, I think they recommend changing those every 3 to 4 months, but I think most people probably don't realize it, until you go to get your laundry detergent out or whatever. You use in that one room and you're like, oh my gosh, this is gross.
And top off the fluids in your cars. If you need a coolant flush, engine's working a little bit harder.
And I know people love to park close to the store. But try to find a shady spot. It can be, think about even just the difference when we did the Weather IQ last year about temperatures in the sun versus the shade. The air temperature that day was 85. In the shade, it was 58. And this is in our parking lot in particular. And in the sun, it was 120.
Wow,
So that's
a big
heating
difference.
up your car.
Yeah.
Remember, our cars are like a greenhouse.
Yeah.
They trap that heat inside and it doesn't get released. So, and I actually noticed our WCNC parking lot was like that. There's a lot of people who love to park in those front spots.
Yeah.
You could see all of those side spots that we have that have trees lining. They were all taken today.
They were. I
People are
tried.
being conscious about it.
I tried.
It's those small things to make a big difference. No one wants to get into their car because they let it sit in the hot sun, the coolant issue or
like an
some kind of
oven.
battery issue, and now you're stuck in the sun for longer.
Ugh.
So,
Ugh.
and of course, mention kids, pets. Check the back seat. Don't leave them in the car.
Yeah. Great advice, Brittany. And look, if you love seeing Brittany right now, she'll be back in an hour. So
They're like, get this girl.
no.
That's great.
Brittany, as always, thank you for your time. We'll see you back here in an hour. Again, some helpful tips and advice there. Man, I'm prepared. I feel like I'm sweating right now just thinking about this weekend, but whatever. That's just me. Am I being dramatic, Carlene?
No.
Thank you.